What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Tribe of Runners podcast. I'm your host, Liz Myers, and today I have a crazy but very interesting guest on the podcast. I hope you don't mind me calling it crazy, but his name is Cody Taylor, and this is a gentleman that personally reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I would love to be on your podcast." I did some digging and I was like, hell yeah, let's get on and chat. So, you are an endurance athlete. I love that you call yourself that. You also are dialed in content. You put out some very informative information. You also have two FKTs in Canada. And honestly, your story, I think, can relate with so many people. And I love that about you. So I have tons of questions and I can't wait to dive in. But thank you so much for reaching out and getting ready to chat all things.
Yeah, thank you, Liz, for having me. It's a pleasure, and it's I love connecting. It's like the outreach side of it's really important. Like no one's gonna know about who you are if you're a content creator. If that's what your goal is. Like I run an online business. I coach endurance athletes, so it's like it's important for me to get the word out about my projects that I'm doing and about what I'm doing for business and stuff. So reaching out to podcasts and cool people like you. It's just all part of the business, and I really enjoy doing this. And I just want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. And you mentioned, so you are a coach and you have a project, and I obviously know about it because I did some digging, but tell us more about that, and then we'll kind of just continue going off the whole conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So the project I'm taking on this year is the Long Trail in Vermont, but I'm going to be doing it as an out and back. And kind of what I've been doing, niching down to the last couple of years, is doing things unsupported because unsupported is just kind of right up my alley. Like I do a lot of strength training. It's kind of something that I'm pretty decent at, and like I wouldn't consider myself a very fast trail runner. So I doing these FKTs for supported and trying to compete with some of these professional athletes. Like I just there was no chance for me. I'm already 33 years old, and I'm like, I kind of talked to my coach about this, and I'll bring him up later on the podcast. But like, he just kind of introduced the idea of doing these things unsupported, and yeah, like it's been a lot of fun. Unsupported, like what that means, like I have to carry all my nutrition from point A to point B. I have to filter water on trail, and I have to camp out on trail, and I can't get any help whatsoever. So like like on the long trail, it's 900 kilometers, 135,000 feet of climbing. I'm going to be carrying anywhere between 15 and 20 days worth of nutrition. So like my backpack starts off at like 53 to 55 pounds. And then it loses 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds every day as I go through my nutrition. But it's a cool sport. It's a really fun way of like getting to do the adventure. You really are doing everything on your own. So it's fun. I have a lot blast doing
You say fun, I say it kind of sounds insane. But I
it.
will say, like, FKTs, I love them. I definitely want to get into them into the future. But the unsupported aspect, I think, still kind of blows my mind. Because, like you mentioned, you're literally carrying everything that you need for the entirety of the trail. And your FKTs are ginormous. They're not like a 1 day FKT or, a short 30-mile something. Like, you're the International Appalachian Trail, that was 400-ish miles, and we do miles here, but 650 kilometers. And then you did the Bruce Trail, which was 900 kilometers. So huge events. And I have so many questions, but why do you think you personally were like, let me go do this unsupported? Did you like the thought of being alone and doing it yourself and suffering?
Well, I mean, again, I have to thank, and I give a shout out to my coach Ray Zahab on all these podcasts because if it wasn't for him, he's the reason why I got into this sport to begin with. So it all kind of started off with me like started running seriously in like 2023, and then like I ran the Atacama Desert in Chile with Ray, and he just saw potential in me, but he also knew like where I was headed in my running journey. He's like, dude, he's like, honestly, like you're not gonna move the needle by running all these races. Like he's like, you should really take a look at like the full like adventure side of this sport. So then, yeah, he kind of brought up like 4 or 5 trails on the in the Atacama Desert, and the Bruce Trail is being one of them. And whenever he brought up 900 kilometers and he brought up doing these things solo, like, man, my wheels were turning and I just could not stop thinking about it. So 2025, or 2024, sorry, I bought all my gear. I never like even went out camping. Like I was so new to this sport. I bought all my gear and then trained for about 5 weekends, then went out and did the Bruce Trail totally unsupported. So it's like I learned on the fly, and it's just, yeah, man, it kind of, whenever that happened, whenever I got the FKT, like then it's just like a lot of things kind of started like following up with that. Like I started my online coaching business and I started getting like endorsements and this and that. So it's like, it's really like Ray told me, it's like it'll move the needle more for you if I do these things. And so I just kind of followed his lead, man. And then honestly, it's like it's, yeah, it's building the business and whatever, but like I actually really enjoy doing these things too, like, man, being out alone for 2 weeks, like you come out a different person. Like you really do. And I didn't know anything about any of these trails. I never seen the Bruce Trail, I never seen the IAT, the International Appalachian Trail. And now I'm just going and exploring the whole thing on my own 2 feet. Like it's just an incredible experience. And yeah, man, I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah. I would have to say I would hope you would enjoy it because I couldn't imagine doing these FKTs just for a business point of view. As like a business person myself, it's like you gotta have to love it. You have to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it was a real eye opener because like after the Bruce Trail, like man, I got people were sharing articles about me, like Canadian Running Magazine, like there's a lot of publicity that came after that. And then after the IAT, it was different because like I did it and you kind of expected that to happen again, but then it's like if people kind of expect that out of you, it's like, oh, this guy's already crazy. Of course he did that, So like the amount of people that praised me for what I did, and then it was kind of like it was just something that made me realize. I talked about with my wife. It's like you really have to do these things because you love it. It's like it doesn't matter about the outcome, about what happens after that. You know what I mean? And what's cool is that now like I'm doing like these public speaking engagements. I get to share my story. Like I'm hitting up high schools and like sharing my story with these kids. And it's just fun, It's like, so yeah, it's fun, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And it again goes to show like just where you are because a lot of people I know as a coach myself and just being in the ultra running world that like hear unsupported and they're like, no, I don't want to do that unsupported. And for you, you're like, yes, sign me up. How can I do it? And from what it sounds like and what I've kind of seen, like you didn't know much. You just dove right in and figured it out kind of on the fly and suffered in silence in a sense and then got all the things done. So kind of explain that to us and me, when you got out there and shit got real, like how did you really handle it? Was it just trusting yourself and going through, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, like, so on the Bruce Trail, like the first few things that started happening to me was like day one. Day one, first like 4 hours, it started raining, and I didn't stay on top of it with my groin area, so that chafed up really badly. And for like the first 3 days, I had to go like no underwear under my shorts because like I was wearing this like shorts with liner, and I realized after a couple of years now, this certain shorts that I love to wear when it rains, I have to put on underwear sort of thing over this liner because the liner will like dig into my crotch area. So that was the first thing that happened first 4 hours.
Mm.
Then right after that, I realized socks retain too much moisture and they were giving me blisters. I wear a pair of shoes called Norda, and Norda is made out of Dyneema. And I find the only thing with these shoes is that they don't really drain, they don't really air out as well. So I didn't wear socks throughout the whole 550-mile journey on the Bruce Trail. I was just using like Leuko tape on my toes or wherever hot spots I had. And just so like, yeah, it's the first day, first 6 hours, they're like chafed badly. Socks were giving me blisters. Like a lot of stuff was happening within the first like 6 hours. And then like day four, I had this backpack that was like it was super ultra light, but the problem is with this ultra light backpack is that the buckles and everything was just made super fragile, right? I had 53 pounds on my back. So the straps kept coming loose. So what ended up happening on day four is I started losing the skin on my back, and the backpack was like rubbing against my back like this. So the day five in the morning, I go to bed stressed out. I wake up in the morning. I brought this trail toes tape, and I posted this picture before on my Instagram. But like literally taped my entire back by myself, and then thankfully that tape stayed on for the entire adventure, and it saved my adventure. And yeah, man, it was just like a lot of things like that. And then on the Bruce Trail, I was throwing out food the first 4 or 5 days because I was like it was just added weight in my backpack. But then like after like the last 100 miles, I was running out of food.
Mm.
So like I went like the last 100K, which was like a pocket full of pepperoni. So like Yeah, I learned so much, man, on that trail. And then like no sleep on the Bruce Trail, and I found out I was just lacking magnesium. So like I basically had hallucinations every single day for 2 weeks on the Bruce
Oh
Trail.
my goodness.
And then the amount of experience that I gained from the Bruce Trail when I went to the IAT like last year, everything went flawless. Like everything was just flawless. Like I slept really well. It was an incredible adventure only because I gained so much experience from the Bruce Trail.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I feel like sometimes that's how we have to do things. We just jump in and do what we can. And then after that, we learn so much so quickly that it's like, now I know what to do, what not to do. And don't get me wrong, we all know you're still learning and still, figuring out better and new things what to do. But that first one, you learned a lot real fast,
Yeah,
huh?
and what's crazy, Liz, is that like I literally built like I ran an HVAC company, heating and cooling company for a while. I was in the trades my entire life. I was a touring musician, like I played drums with my band with a band and whatnot. And I only got into this whole endurance side of things like in 2022, 23. So like me be doing the Bruce Trail and then me doing the IAT, I gained so much experience in such a small amount of time that now I'm coaching endurance athletes, which is so crazy. So it's fun. Like I did learn a lot in those 2 years, and I do have something to coach, and I do have something to teach these people. Like I've gotten athletes. I always tell people like on the phone, it's like I'm not gonna get you podium, but like I'll definitely get you to the finish line. You know what I mean? If that's your goal to run your first race, your first ultra, like that's what I'm here for, man. It's my wife's a nutrition coach, and I do the fitness side of it, and we're having so much fun, man. It's coaching endurance athletes. They're all already driven. They already got so
Mhm.
much drive to work out. So it's like it's just so much fun to you get on a call with these athletes, and there's just so much energy between like in that phone call, you know. So I'm having fun doing it.
Oh, yeah. And they just want to become better, which is very rare to
Yeah.
find with people. And like you mentioned, they're just driven and it's a whole different ball game. So I love that you get to do that and that you're doing it. And going out there and doing the Bruce Trail and then going out and doing the IAT and now you have the long trail that you're getting ready to do. Within this, obviously I see like each year you're trying to do something new. So is that kind of the goal is to continue to do some crazy unsupported thing or do you know yet?
I honestly, I've never been one, even with my businesses and stuff. It's like I've never been one to have like a 5 year plan or anything. It's always like set this goal, work really hard, get that goal done. What's next? You know what I mean? And I don't know. I kind of I'll get distracted really easily if I'm always like looking at like, you know what I mean, the bigger vision or like, 5 years down the road or whatever. It's like I try to set a realistic goal, hard enough goal where it scares me a little bit, but like a goal where it's like, okay, you know what? I think I could do it and try to get it done and then just go from there. So,
Yeah. I love to hear that. And it's manageable, but like you mentioned, you want a goal, but you want it to be hard, which is, I mean, what we need in this world. You know what I mean? Like we need to
yeah.
do hard things. But what do you think, especially like ultra wise? I know you coach people as well, and I'm sure you, like you mentioned, being on a ton of podcasts. Like, why do you think we do this? Like, why do we choose these hard things? Like you doing something unsupported truly kind of like blows my mind to be out there multiple days by yourself, which I have so many questions about. But like, why do you think humans, not so much yourself, like just decide to do these hard things?
It just makes you appreciate everything else in life so much more. I just talked about this the other day, but like filtering, like getting water out of the tap. Like now I'm like so grateful just to be able to go turn my tap on, fill this bottle in like a matter of 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Whenever you got to filter water and you're like, sometimes you go hours without getting water and you're just like, you're moving forever. And it just makes you appreciate everything. It's like sleeping on the hard ground like every night for 2 weeks. You get back home, you sleep in your bed. It's like wow. It's like you're just all of a sudden super super grateful for your bed. Um, yeah, I don't know. And then just like the whole ultra stuff, it's like you're getting to explore like these beautiful areas. Like it's just what's not to love. It's like it's the greatest thing ever. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's doing hard things is really important. Like it's really humbling and I don't know, man. It just creates stories. I got so many stories to tell and like whenever I get older and I look back at these adventures, like, even now it's like it's just the preparation that goes into it, the time and even the money I invest in this stuff. It's like it's all just for a laugh and just to share these stories, man. Like and for the experience. Like I don't know, man. It's, I don't know why I do it honestly. So it's just I just have so much fun doing it.
No, yeah, and I think you kind of nailed it. I'm sure everyone has their own reasons, but like it's to do the hard thing,
Yeah.
genuinely to become a little better and have these crazy experiences to share with other people. And funny enough, like you may have a story that's very similar to someone else, and someone's gonna have a story that's kind of similar but completely different, and you both relate so well and just kind of
Yeah.
link up and get together in that aspect, and I love
A-
that.
And it's funny because like I didn't have like a bad childhood. Like I've been with my wife since I was 16. I'm 33. Like everything in my life has been very smooth. And it's just funny because like, I've talked to a lot of endurance athletes and like they used to have a drug problem or they used to have like you know what I mean? Family issues, or their dad was an alcoholic, whatever the case is. And I'm like, man, my parents gave me everything. I'm with this beautiful girl that I've been with her forever. Um, it's just funny. I don't know. Like I really, I look back at my childhood, everything's great. I just don't know how I really got into the sport. I think for me, I've always been a bit of like an adrenaline junkie and like
Mm.
playing shows with my band. Like I got the opportunity to play in front of thousands of people, like after Def Leppard and stuff like that. And that adrenaline rush was like there was a lot of work that was involved to get to that point. And with running, what I loved about running and this trail stuff is that you could put on your shoes and you could go get that adrenaline rush anytime,
Mm.
which is really cool. So during the pandemic, when I started running, that's what I realized. I'm like, so yeah, I kind of pulled the plug on the whole band thing because I was so sick and tired of being broke all the time. And and then yeah, like the whole running thing was and like as you know, like I've been sharing my journey and it's like I found it was way more relatable. Like people didn't understand how much work was involved to play those shows in front of all those people. But then whenever I go run for 42K, a marathon, people are like that's awesome, you know what I mean? Everyone's applauding me and everyone's like getting inspired, and then all of a sudden I got buddies running and stuff like that. So I've always been trying to just inspire the average person to kind of go out and do something, you know what I mean? Anything. It doesn't even have to be hard things. It's like if you want to read 10 books in a day, read 10 books in a day. You know what I mean? Do the things that you want to do, but just do it with passion and just do it like because you want to do it. And that was my whole goal with with the music thing. It's like I was sharing my journey, I was sharing like my running. It's like I just want people to just go out and just live their life to their fullest. So that's the whole concept of new normal. Like we run this business here, my friend, my wife and I, and it's just we just want to see people just you know what I mean, just take their passion to the next level.
Yeah, and I love that. And I wanted to get into that because like I've heard it on your social media and like doing a little deep dive in you. And like you talk about that, like follow your passion to the fullest. Like don't
Yeah,
half ass anything. Like if it's like you mentioned reading books, if it's reading books, dive into the books, read all the books. If it's,
yeah,
being a cook, like cook,
yeah,
learn and become the
absolutely,
master,
man.
and I love that. I'm a big advocate on like mastering but you have to put in the time. And I think a lot of time we as humans try to half ask that and like
Yeah,
just skim by things, but you really show like what you've done to become a master and become, just continue to become a master in the running world. And you dove right in. You didn't hesitate. You probably didn't have a very, like you had a start and you had a coach, but maybe not all of the things right away. And so like explain that more, like your philosophy and thought process on like just completely diving in and giving it your all.
like how it all started for me, sort of thing, and
Yeah, and how you help people understand and do it, like coach them and all of that.
yeah, I mean, like, well, it started in 2020, like during the pandemic. I started going to the gym because like I just was kind of sick and tired of feeling a little overweight and lazy. Like, I realized like because I used to be in really good shape when I was a kid, and then whenever I was on the road during music, whenever I was with my band, put on a little bit of like that road weight, and then during the pandemic when I started running, like I I used to be a good runner when I was a kid, and then like I went to go run a 5K, and I was like completely gassed, and I'm like, man, what the hell's going on? Like I used to be able to run all the time, and then so then I went so hard into the running sport in 2 months that I went from like 5K not being able to run 5K to like running 40K like 2 months later, which is a near marathon. And what I did was I loaded up a Vans backpack with like a 3 liter water bladder, no sodium, no element, no nothing, and like 3 or 4 Cliff Bars, and I'm just like out there like bonking hard, like I'm just like walking and running, and like it was more of like just an experiment thing, and like what I loved about running too is that like where your head goes, you know, like if you go out there, like I find for me like a lot of times like I have a lot of voices in my head, and then like if you're out for a 3 hour run, the first hour is like you still got those voices in your head. Second hour is not as bad. Third hour is just you in the road, and I that's why I loved running so much. I fell in love with it because of that. I came back home and I was super zen. I was very, very just locked in, and everything I was doing after that, like my relationship with my wife and my friends got better. My business started taking off. Like I remember like the moment I started getting in shape, I was doing quotes for my heating and cooling business, and I went from like my closing rate was just like it almost doubled. Like I'd walk in with so much confidence, you know what I mean? So it became really quickly a passion of mine to just like be in the best shape that I possibly can because it just made me better, made me smarter, made me feel all of it. So, it started off with that, and then yeah, like in terms of like my coaching business, like I didn't have any intentions on being an endurance coach. Like I didn't care so much about coaching runners. I just kind of niched down to that recently. I started this online business with my wife a year ago, and like we were just like our whole goal was just like whatever you like. If you want to have more energy to play with your kids, it's like we're gonna like we want to help you get there. It's like, and we still have those kind of clients. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like focusing on a little bit, even if it's just a little bit of time in your day, like on your health and fitness. Stack those wins up over time within a year. You're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna be more confident in your clothes. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm answering your question here or not, but I get very passionate about this whole journey because it changed my life so much. And it's crazy. It's like I started my health and fitness journey in 2020, and like it's crazy how quickly 5 years goes by. Like, the older I get, I'm like, oh my God, like time's just flying by. But like what I've accomplished in 5 years, I'm like, I'm never looking back. Like I don't want to go back to my old self. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And so a lot of people that listen know, but I kind of started my journey back in 2020 as well. Around
Oh yeah,
COVID, I was living with my
nice.
sister. She was running, and I'm like, that is not something I ever want to do. But then she got me to run, and it just trickled. And in 3 years, or like, I'd say 2022, 3 years now, like my life has gone from just complete 180. Never thought this would be what I was doing. And I'm the same way. Like, I'll never go back. And I've just become such a different person and like more chill, more just aware, more open, more like a whole different.
Are you a coach too?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you coach with Killian?
I do. Yes.
Okay, I saw that you were on that podcast with him. That's really cool. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. So you as well. You just got into the coach, like you've dove right in, and then you
A
got into
hundred
coaching.
percent.
And you're
Yeah.
helping people. I love that, man. Like that's
Yeah.
so cool. What a
Yeah.
similar story.
Oh yeah, and I started with Joe. So Joe Corcione on the Everyday Ultra.
Yeah.
He was my first coach, and then we got to know each other. And he's like, "Dude, I think you'd be a great coach." I'm like, "Sure, like why not? Like I love this industry. I left my full time job eventually, became coaching full time, and now I work for Everyday Ultra as well. So never would I think my world would be what it is now, and it's been amazing. Killian is like one of my really really good friends, which is so weird to think about. And I did know him before he got like super famous, but it's just such a crazy world to be in. And I get to meet people like you and we get to chat. And this is my podcast. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so just crazy. But I think one of like the best things about all of this is you telling your story to me, like we're connected, we great friends now, we'll keep in touch, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
how would I've ever met you other than, you know what I mean? Like you live so far away. I live here in Florida, like it is wild.
I literally had like after the Bruce Trail, I had like a guy reach out to me, Brady McDonald, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come pace me in California on Big Bear?" So then I did that, and then I paced this guy named Cole Taylor, and I went to Vegas, and like these are all internet connections, and like now it's like I got these friends for life, and yeah, it's crazy, man. The athletes that do this sport, like everyone's so kind, and that's the other thing too, man. Like that's why I fell in love with the trail running and the trail races. Like the marathons, there was just the people that run the marathons are just a totally different breed from the ultra runners and the trail runners. Like I was very I realized that really quick, and everyone's just so friendly. Everyone like let's just say if you're in a race and like you hurt yourself and the guy's right behind you, like he's gonna stop and make sure that you're okay, and like you know what I mean, he'll help you even get to the finish line. Like that's just the kind of people that you're dealing with in this sport. So like whenever I went for my FKT in on the Bruce Trail, I reached out to the guy that had the current FKT, and like he literally coached me almost throughout the whole thing. Like he was rooting for me. You know what I mean? I thought that
Mhm.
was so cool. So yeah, man, just giving back.
Oh
Try to give
yeah.
back.
But you nailed it on the head. I don't like to talk shit, but ultra or marathon runners are very like cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's the honest truth. Don't get me wrong, they're nice people, but in a race, I want to run with an ultra runner all day long, and
Yep.
I'm the first one to give anything that I can to help someone, and someone will do it in return. And it's just that, I mean, truly, that's why I started this podcast. I was like, this community is awesome. Like, we are a tribe of runners, and I
Yeah.
want to start a like podcast and talk all about it. And I get to meet cool ass people, and they get to share their story. I get to pick their brains. It is just like super cool to be on in this side of the world, but the ultra running community is so different. And that's not just like ultra running races, like FKTs that you're doing, or just people that like through hiking go out. Like, we're all the same. I know
Yeah.
tons of through hikers that volunteer at giant races, or any race that is local to them, and they're not like racing races. They're just in the trail community, I guess is a good way to say it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just such a wild sport to be a part of, and it is now booming. Would you say, like, since you've been in it, it's just completely expanded? And
Oh my God, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, like it was during the pandemic, and like, whenever David Goggins started blowing up, it's like, love him or hate him, like he's the one that got me into the sport. He's the one that kind of got my lazy butt off the couch, and I'm like, I'm very thankful for what he brought into the community of ultra running, and yeah, it's crazy. That's why it's like, even the online coaching, I'm just like, it's crazy how many athletes are reaching out to me, and I don't have a big like it's starting to grow, but it's not like I'm super popular or anything like that. So it's like there's work out there for everyone. Like if you want to coach and if you got some experience, like man, go for it because like there's so many people that need help. You know what I mean?
oh, for sure.
And I'm all for it too. I'm all for like helping people like level up with their running and stuff because of how much it changed my life. So it's just so much fun. Like I can't even consider this a job. I wake up and I'm like pinching myself. It's like as if like we were just in Florida for a month, my wife and I, like able to work on the road. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like I'm so used to like working my hands and get my hands dirty and like that's how I was making my money. So it took me like a full year to realize like how the hell am I getting paid for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
but it's fun, man. Like yeah, we're having so much fun.
Oh, yeah. And I can agree 100%. I just went out and we had a Desert Peak race, the Everyday Ultra Desert Peak race.
Yep.
And I'm out there like enjoying the race. I'm like, I'm still making money. Like, what the heck is
Yeah.
going on?
I
I'm
know. It's so
enjoying a
crazy.
race, and I'm still, it's a wild life to live. It truly is. And I'm
So
so
what
glad that you
what
have it.
what did you do for work before?
Oh, so I've always kind of like worked with my hands as well. But I went to college to be a professor, so I have my degree, got ready to go to my master's program to become a professor and do research. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. Like, it's a little too political. Like, I don't know. So I was like, I'm gonna take a summer. I started working at a golf course, and I was like, this shit is easy. It's okay money. And then I got into management there, so I just was like settled working. I met my partner. We kind of settled in, and then was started running, and I start taking that super super serious, and then I instantly shift into like I had the nice balance of being able to work part-time at that job. My boss was super flexible, and then I just went full-time coaching. So I've always worked really hard. I've always done all the things, and now I get to do it for something that I'm like genuinely passionate about.
Yeah.
It's so different. It's
And like the athletes you're coaching, are they like like getting into the sport? Or are you trying to get these athletes to like level up to like podium level or like what's your kind of your thing?
it's all between. So I have mm, such a variety of people. I have male, female, age range, young. I think my youngest is like 22, maybe.
Okay.
And then all the like my oldest athlete is 65. I love him, Jim. If you're listening, which you
Yeah.
better be, he's the best. So I have such a variety, and I have some middle backpack. I have some
Yeah.
like really close to front lead pack, and then I have some people that are like, I want a podium. Like, this is my
Yeah.
goal. How can I get there? So I have a nice balance. And I love coaching all of them, to be honest. Like, I always get
Yeah.
asked, like, what's your favorite type of athlete? And I'm like, a fucking driven one. Like,
Right? I know. I got a guy that's like running 5Ks and I'm just programming him like 3 to 5Ks. And then I got a guy training for like 100 miles and like they're both so much fun to train.
yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's funny talking to another coach because, like, as a coach, we get to experience so much because, just such a variety of athletes, and each one is so different, but it's so special. And majority of them, they're just so driven. You know what I mean? Like you said, they're driven people, and you just have to help get them to where they need to be, and it's amazing.
It's a lot of like accountability and support because you know what I always tell this right on the sales call. I'm like, you could write up your own plan on ChatGPT. It's like, but like what we're offering is just like literally that support. It's that human connection, and I think that's super important. Like I I will share you my experiences and what worked for me. You know what I mean? And gear and nutrition and all of it. And you know what I mean? It's like, but you could easily go on ChatGPT and do all this like on your own.
Oh
But it's
yeah.
like but what drives people to do these things is by having a coach, or signing up for that race. Like I didn't have a coach growing like doing this sport. I met Ray before, like in 2023. Then he kind of coached me on these unsupported journeys. But before all that, I was just doing this all on my own. But what I was doing to keep me driven to keep running was sign up for something big. Something like I'd sign up for a 50 miler, an 80K, and it was like really scared the crap out of me. But like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know if I could do it, but I'm gonna train really hard to do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's I always tell people it's like, either sign up for a race or get a coach, and you're gonna be motivated all year round to train.
Oh yeah. No, it's so true. And I'm sure you've experienced this too. I think we all kind of just this has been like my saying for the years, like fuck around and find out. But we
Yeah,
all started that way. Like we had
yeah,
no clue. We just tried and continued to try. And then eventually there becomes a point where like you just need to sign up for something really, really, really hard. Or you get a coach and they're gonna teach you twice as fast, if not even faster than that.
for sure.
And that's where I was in life. And I was like, I kind of like this sport. I think I could do okay. Like I'm not doing anything substantial, but like I want to grow. I want to become better. So
Yeah.
I got a coach and that's what I always tell athletes. I'm like, this is the truth. This is how it works. Like I will help you out. Like I can honestly say majority of my athletes like I'm really good friends with. It's so
Yeah.
weird,
Oh yeah,
but
become friends with them during.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we get along so well and it's just like I'm I'm way over here if you think about it, right? In my own little world here in Florida, I have some athletes that I probably would have never met in my entire life just because of like where they live, what they do, the profession, and we are good friends. We chat. It's just such a crazy world.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, no, I'm super grateful to be in it now. It's so fun. And like back to like not having a coach, like I don't recommend it to everyone. Like I remember I went the first 2 years, like I didn't even know what sodium was, like sodium intake, like like with Element or Tailwind or whatever. So it's like I remember running like these 30-kilometer runs and sometimes having to call my mom and get her to pick me up because I completely bonked on the side of the road. So it's like I I would recommend getting a coach for sure, but you know what? I'm all for trial and error too because that's how you really figure your body out and that's how you really understand like what you need. But yeah, it's fun. Like I got so many crazy stories, but just getting started.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Doing all the crazy things and realizing this did not work. But
Yeah,
like you
exactly.
mentioned, I did it myself and then I was like, I think I should stop
Yeah,
messing
I know.
around, get a coach, learn a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's been a game changer. So I'm right there with you. I think
Yeah.
getting a coach is obviously top notch, but I have been there and I've learned the hard lessons and, had to, I can't say I ever had to call someone to come get me, but I definitely did some stupid shit out there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was only a couple times, but I just remember it was like side of the road. Like I'm not even walking another step. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Awesome. Well, kind of a weird spin-off on coaching, but I love it. And I will definitely put all of your links for your business and what you
yeah,
do in
yeah.
the
Of
show
course.
notes.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. But let's get into you out in the FKTs. So I have a bunch of questions, and I think the most thing that comes straight to mind is like when you're out there, it's like obviously your head takes you to some crazy places. And in my mind, it probably goes to some really dark places. So like what was that like being out there for your first time on the Bruce Trail?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great question. Like I really don't have a lot of dark moments. That's the crazy thing about it. Like when I'm out there, I always tell myself whenever things are hard, like don't get me wrong, there's hard times.
Yeah.
But I never get in a dark place. Like if you ever see me in a race, any race, like I've always been smiling ear to ear. And I always tell myself it's like I put myself in this situation. Like I trained really hard to do this thing and I signed up for this. It's like I'm not sick. Like, I'm not like in war. I'm literally exploring this country with my own 2 feet. Like, I got all my nutrition in my backpack. Like, there's no worries, you know? It's like, and you know what? I just talked about this the other day to someone else, but like, I'm at a point now in my career. It's like, I don't have anything to prove. If I fail, whatever. I'm gonna learn from that failure and I'm gonna take it to my next trail and just be that much better. So like I honestly, Liz, I've always been really solid when it came to this sport in terms of like, like how do you have dark moments and stuff? It's like the only thing that might happen where it could be a little crazy is the hallucinations. But then whenever I start hallucinating, I just laugh about that too, you know? So the one thing I got to say though, what I love about these trails and about especially being out for 2 weeks like that is I used to back before the Bruce Trail like took pride in like not crying. I was like, "Oh, I'm a tough guy, you know, I don't
Mm,
cry."
mhm.
And then like I got out on the Bruce Trail and I like could not stop crying. I was like crying for a whole day sometimes. And like so I'd cry and I'm like laughing out loud for no reason and then I'm like hallucinating. So you like tap into all these emotions and it's such a beautiful experience because I find now, especially, especially being a content creator and I'm like running a business and like you're talking to people all day long. It's like you just kind of like lose touch of like those like the reality, you know what I mean? Like those emotions. Like I don't get to experience the crying. I don't like sometimes you get caught up and you're not laughing because you're building a business. You know, so it's like whenever you just go to the simpler times where all you're doing is just one foot in front of the other, then you really tap into that like, you know what I mean, just yourself and that's it. And that's what's beautiful about this sport.
Yeah, I love that. And it really takes me back to like how life has been for me. Everyone that's been listening knows it's been pretty hectic, but I feel like I went like head down, was just like trying to grind, ignore everything that was going on, not paying attention. And like you mentioned, when you're in a trail, like you get it's like you have to have your head up. And I'm not talking about the sense of like when you're out running, you need to look at your steps and all of that. But like I can only imagine in a multi-day thing where you are unsupported, how it is completely life changing in that aspect of like being in the moment. It doesn't matter what the heck is going on at home anymore. You're not at home. Like you need to worry about what's at the present moment.
Yeah.
And like myself included, we get caught up in things and we're worried about the past and the future and the what ifs and all the bullshit, of life, and we just need to genuinely have the present moment and in the front of us, and it's so hard to do. But
It's so hard. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm sure out there, day 8, literally that's all you can focus on is just
Oh man, yeah.
moving forward.
It's day one, man. It's whenever you start. It's like you got to be so dialed with like how you're feeling. You got to be disciplined. Like I got to stop and air out my feet so I don't get blisters because I'm out there for 2 weeks. You gotta, you know what I mean? If there's anything going on anywhere, any kind of hot spot on your foot, you gotta rectify it right away. You're just dialed. You're just dialed with like everything. Yeah, I remember like my second trail, the IAT that I did, like so like you see that stick that's behind me?
Yeah.
So that I broke my trekking pole the first 6 hours on the IAT, and I didn't. I'm doing unsupported. I can't stop at a store and go get new poles. So I found that stick, and it's like 10 times the weight of my trekking pole, but that stuck with me the entire way.
Wow.
But like it was funny because like I broke that stick and like right away I started having a panic attack. So I'm like I was like freaking out. So I'm like I didn't find that stick right away and I'm hiking one pole. I got 85,000 feet of climbing on this trail. It's like climbing Mount Everest like over
Yeah.
3 times. I'm like I need my trekking poles and I got 50 some pounds on my back. So I'm having a panic attack and I'm like it was so much elevation already and I remember like I started climbing up this hill and I remember my legs started like pulsing like it's like an electric shock hit my leg and I'm like, so I like turn back around. I'm like, I need to get sodium in, and then I dummied an element pack, just like a whole bottle, and then I was able to climb and keep going. And it's like, it's like rectifying, like figuring out those things that are happening to you, and then just staying on top of it. So it's like you're just yeah, you're so dialed the entire way through, and yeah, and then like I had a little trail mistake on day 2 on that trail where I cut the inside of my leg really badly.
Mm.
And I had to go through all my medical supplies basically like right away on day 2, day
Oh,
3. Yeah, so like I had a 2 week adventure. Then I remember like on day 8, day 9. This is what's crazy about this sport too, being out there for that long. Like if you have one thing that's on your mind, like I thought this cut was infected on day 8. It infected my entire like I was it took up my entire brain space like the all morning. I was like so wrapped up on this cut. I'm like, it's infected. I'm not gonna be able to go any further. My adventure's ruined. I'm like, you're going through all the emotions, and then like thankfully I got cell service, and then I was able to send the picture to my wife. My wife right away was like freaking out, and I was freaking out. I dropped on the ground, but then she sent the picture to her uncle that's a doctor, and then he said it was all good. And I remember it was like the biggest
Yeah.
celebration. I'm out in the middle of the woods, like just screaming and hollering. But anyways, it's just funny. Like you have like these little minor things that happen, but it just could take up. You know what I mean? All your thoughts. You know what I mean? You have nothing. You're thinking about that one thing that's, you know what I mean, ruining your trip. But
Yeah.
it's so funny, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of beautiful moments, but then yeah, like there's some hard realities like of that. But again, it's like, I'm kind of, again, I'm at the point where it's like, I've done two trails. I've already proved that I could do these things, and I proved it to myself, and that's the biggest thing, proving it to myself that I could do these things. So it's like this long trail, this trail I'm gonna be doing next, like it's longer, it's more elevation, and I'm well aware now. It's like I think I was super naive going to the Bruce Trail. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get this FKT. Then after doing it, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong there. It's like there's a lot of moments and a lot of days where it's like this could have happened, that could end the adventure. And this could have happened, that would have ended the adventure. So it's like, yeah, I'm just like I know now when I'm doing this trail, it's like anything could happen, and if it fails, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. I'm still alive, hopefully.
Yeah.
and, and yeah, so that's what it's all about, man. It's about learning from those experiences.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned it so much through what you just said too. Like you genuinely have to be there for each moment. And sometimes it may be a scratch on your leg or, cut, not saying scratch by any
Yeah,
small
yeah,
demean.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
big gash in the leg that you cannot focus on anything because you're so consumed with this. But yet at the same time, you're still pushing through. You're still doing every step you're climbing. And, it really goes to say a lot, especially being so new to the whole sport and with FKTs, you know what I mean? Unsupported FKTs. So I love that like you've learned so much through experience because I feel like a lot of us don't have the experience that you have in that aspect. It's completely different from like a race that I've done.
Yeah, I think honestly, it just like people always wait for that perfect time, and it doesn't have to be in ultra running related. People wait for that perfect time, and it's like it's never gonna be a perfect time. Like whatever you want to do. Like whenever I started my heating and cooling company, I was 27 years old. Like I I didn't know how to do taxes. Like I didn't know how to run a business, but like I just did it, and then you learn on the go. Like you learn on the fly. And like that's, man, you grow up super quick when you do that. Like, you know what I mean? If you just dive headfirst into whatever you want to do, it's like you're gonna learn really quick, and you're gonna, yeah, it's like you could ask all the people and try to like figure out all the knowledge beforehand, but like you're only gonna learn whenever you're actually doing the thing. So
Oh yeah. And I love how you said that too, because obviously I see all the books behind you. I have a giant bookshelf and I love reading. And I read a lot, but I learned so much more through experience and
yeah,
just doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and or having the conversations with other people. So
yeah,
it's just so true. Like sometimes you just have to do it. It's not going to be perfect as no matter how perfect you think it may be planned. As we know in any type of trail run or anything of that nature, nothing goes to plan.
yeah,
So it's just having a good structure, I think is like a good start, having a good idea, and then just doing the damn thing.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Love that. Love that. So I kind of want to talk about the long trail because this has 135,000 feet of vert,
yeah,
which is insane. And it's 900 kilometers, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So why this trail? I mean, obviously, I guess you just really like to do hard things, but like, is there any story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, so Ray, my coach Ray is like like he's the one that's kind of directed me to all the trails that I've done so far. And the next trail I was gonna do this year was supposed to be in the Northwest Territories. It was called the Knoll Trail.
Okay.
But like it was like grizzly bear territory. I had to get a gun license. Like the logistics behind it, I'm gonna do it one day, but like I'm in the middle of building this business right now, and like obviously, as you know, like this sport requires a lot of time and a lot of money. So the Vermont Long Trail is like my in my backyard basically. Like whenever I go train, I'm usually in the Adirondacks, like upstate New York. Like I'm
Oh,
only
okay.
like a couple hours away from there. like I live in between Montreal and Ottawa. Like I'm a border town. So Vermont's only like 3 hours away. So I'm like, you know what? Like, and then if you go on the FKT website, like this is a premier route. Like people of like all the best athletes that I know of, they've done this route, but only one direction, point A to point B. And I just after the IAT and how much elevation was in that, like it was 650K with 85,000 feet of climbing. It was like almost the same kind of amount of climbing as what the long trail is going to be, except for it has the additional distance.
Hmm.
So it just was like, it's just a like, I know like, like it is still an adventure, but I'm doing a yo-yo effect. It's like basically like going an out and back. So it's more of a challenge as well for myself to see what my body can do with that kind of distance and with that amount of elevation gain. Like I said, it's just my backyard. There's so many other trails that I want to do down the road, but like this one here, it's just I've heard so much great things about it, so that's just what made sense for me this year.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that. Like you don't want to do the thing that's most inconvenient, especially like you said, trying to run a business and just be on top of life is hard
Yeah,
enough than trying to add
yeah,
the stress of potentially going super far or
yeah,
jumping over all of these hula hoops and all that stuff just to get into or be able to do a race is or FKT is it could be an inconveniencing. You don't need to be an inconvenience. But I love that this is double of the last one that you did, which is just insane. And the vert, I have a vert goal. I live in Florida, like I said. So my vert goal for the year is like something that is just exciting to me. It's different.
yeah.
And for you, I like saw this and was like, holy shit. That is crazy. And like when you see that vert, like what are you thinking? Like are you just like, "Ah, it's okay? Like it's like
Yeah,
are you
it doesn't scare me at all. Like that's one thing I gotta say. Like training, I've been training the Adirondacks for a while now, and I'm very used to running up and down these mountains.
Mhm.
I mean, I say running. It's like honestly, I call it ugly shuffle. Like especially with that kind of weight in your backpack.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like it's a running effort. You know what I mean? It's not your typical trail run. It's like quite a bit slower, but like it's faster than a hike. It's faster than a walk. But anyways, my point to all this is like the vert is doesn't scare me at all because I've trained so much in the Adirondacks. I do a lot of
Very
like mountain repeats and stuff like that, and I played a lot of hockey when I was a kid. Like hockey was my sport, so I got like I'm 180 pounds. I'm 5'7". Like I definitely like I've got a lot of muscle mass for my size. So I
Mhm.
think that's why I'm able to do these things and not get hurt. Like I'm able to climb forever and I'm able to descend forever. So I did this trail. It was the Bob Marshall Traverse with a guy named Jameson Hatt, and Jameson Hatt had the original FKT on the Bruce Trail.
Very cool.
And we got together and we did this project together. And he's going out to do an FKT soon. I can't drop the trail name yet because he's going out in a week and he doesn't want me doing that. But he told me when we did this trail in the Adirondacks, like he gave me the idea of actually doing the long trail. He's like Code. He's like this was actually my original goal. But he's like I'll be honest with you. It's like it kind of scares me and it's like I don't know if I could do that much climbing or the descending. So he's like I really think you'd be capable of doing this thing. So I'm doing it because Jameson kind of told me that this is a good idea, and I'm like, you know what? I respect him in the sport, and I was looking to do something this year, and the Knoll Trail out in the Northwest Territories is just not on the cards for this year. So that's kind of what happened. And yeah, like I said, like the IAT, it was 650K with 85,000 feet of climbing. I felt incredibly strong when I finished it. Like if I had more nutrition in my backpack, or if the trail just kept going, there's no problems at all. I could have kept going. So that's why it didn't really scare me as much. But again, it could be like something so stupid where like I trip over a rock on a flat part of the trail. You know what I mean? It's like it could be anything that takes you out. So I'm very like I said, with a couple of years under my belt, I'm like really respecting the sport much
Yeah.
more. Because like I said, I went into the sport super naive, and I'm just like I'm going for this FKT. I'm going for this course record, and like so confident. And some people call it cocky.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was yeah, man, just got a lot more experience. So yeah, just it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
I love that. And it's like you mentioned, you need to be confident going out and do something. Like it should scare you a little. Going out and doing any trail is going to scare you a little bit. It doesn't matter how crazy it could be, but having the confidence is what will truly make or break you out there. Because, like you said, something could kind of go a little south. you could have the craziest thing that you didn't anticipate to happen, and then if you still have that confidence, like you're gonna get through it and you're gonna continue to push
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I don't know if you felt like this too, but like I found with running, like everything in my life, I really had to work hard for, even being a musician. Like I worked my ass off for it. But one thing with like running in these adventures, I feel like I it really came natural to me.
Hmm.
How did you feel about that?
Yes, it's a little more natural, but I will tell you, I always say this about myself, and my partner kicks like tells me, "Oh, don't say that." But like, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm genuinely okay at everything. That's what I say. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but I do feel like I've excelled, or maybe I've just genuinely worked harder at this. That like it just feels
More
easy.
natural.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not fast by any means. Like I am more on the sense like I've always wanted to be a teacher and I feel like coaching is teaching. So for me, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the best gig because A, the people that I am encountering actually give a shit and
Yeah.
try compared to like kids that don't give two shits and I have to
Yeah.
argue with, so like I think that even though like I'm a runner and I'm in running, I think I am way more passionate about coaching and like being a coach and leading people. Like I manage slash coach our coaches. So it's just genuinely the best gig. I really cannot be
No, good for you, man.
truly like as happy, yeah.
You seem
But
like a very happy person, so.
yeah, well most days. But it's I can't say it 100% came naturally, but I love that for you. It's so cool to hear, especially like you've lived a crazy life too and you mentioned a few things that you come into and I knew you had or you were in the band industry and I can only imagine that life. So coming in and then being at ultra running is completely different, I assume.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I'm just thinking of a social media and like content standpoint, but like I felt like I was always like doing this and like trying to inspire others, you know what I mean, and promote. So it's like I guess where I'm going with this is like what I was doing with the band stuff and like building, like promoting and reaching out to people. It's like it's kind of worked out to be the same thing with the running gig, and now I'm
Mhm.
like coaching and promoting this business and then yeah, and then like also with the band stuff, like being on tour, not knowing what I was doing, and you know what I mean, learning how to work with band members. Then just like with running, like not knowing what I was doing and figuring out how to do these trails. Like I feel like I've always been on this grind. You know what I mean? It's been
Mhm.
always this knuckle grinding journey, and I'm all for it, man. Like I like working hard, so.
Oh yeah. And when something comes and or feels like a little more natural, it's just that much easier and
Oh
feels
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, it has came natural and like, I feel like anyone could go out and run and that's what's cool about it. And being a musician, like I started playing drums at 12, like not everyone could just pick up a pair of drumsticks and start shredding. It's like it takes time to learn drums and then it takes time to be able to play with the band. It's like it takes years and years and years and yeah, running, it's like I'm training, like I said, I was training athletes. I'm training athletes right now. They're just trying to run a 5K. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a wild sport to be in. I'm so glad to be in it.
yeah.
And I continue to think like what's next? But in the best way possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this sport has so much to give yet. And I feel like in the racing world, I'm not competitive by any means, but watching the people excel and continue to push the boundaries, I'm like, this shit, I'm here for it. I will be watching from my little area, but it's so cool to be a part of and witness, and especially like diving. I've been diving into FKTs more. I've helped a lot with a few, but now like seeing unsupported stuff, I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like it's even crazier than I imagined.
Yeah, and what's cool about like the unsupported, like right now is like the last trail I just did, I was the first one to ever do it unsupported. And then on the
Mm.
Vermont Long Trail, I'm the first one to do this as an outback unsupported. So it's like what's cool is that like I'm a bit of a pioneer when it comes to some of these trails in the sport because there's not that many unsupported records or FKTs for some of these big trails.
Mhm.
So like I feel like in 10 years from now, whenever like stuff is just more dialed. Like, a battery bank to charge my phone weighs a pound, and then I gotta carry other banks. And like so like all this gear is just gonna slowly start coming down in weight more and more. And then eventually it's gonna be like 10 years from now, these athletes are gonna be looking at these trails, be like, I want to go for this record. And then they're gonna look at my FKT and be like, wow, that guy was crazy. I did that at that time, It's like so that's what's kind of cool too. It's like I don't know, it's I've just kind of I see that as a future thing as people like the FKT world, the unsupported FKTs, it will become a thing like supported because that's the other thing too, like supported FKT, you got to get a whole crew. It's like the logistics behind that. People always say to me, it's like, oh, that's a logistical nightmare going unsupported. Not at all, man. You get your nutrition dialed. you get your wife or your spouse to drop you off at the start line, and then you just go and you just just call it whatever you finish the trail. It's
Yeah.
like it's so easy the logistics on unsupported FKTs, but yeah, supported, man. Like, Tara Dower, like what she did on the Appalachian Trail, having a whole crew follow her for like however long it took her, 50 days or something like that. Like
Hmm.
that you gotta ask so much out of these people, It's like, so anyways, it's a cool sport for that. It's just like anyone could just load up a backpack and just go for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I am very interested to see how the unsupported realm goes. I do feel like you're just touching the surface and you're gonna do some amazing things and inspire a lot of people, which is so cool. And I mean, I'm already like, "Ah, shit, now I gotta look and see what unsupported FKTs are around here. It's just you're putting seeds everywhere, you know what I mean? And one day you're gonna look back and be like, holy shit, look at all these people that are doing FK or unsupported FKTs, and I will put money on it. It's because you've inspired them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like again, Ray inspired me. It's like when I say pioneer, I'm saying that very like I don't like I'm not a pioneer by any means. It's like I bet it's like just on some of these trails, like being the first one to ever do it. I just think it's so cool. You know what I mean? Like that IAT, like that's been around. The International Appalachian Trail has been around for years and years and years. Like I don't even know the history of it, but it's a long time, And like for me to be the first one to ever do it, like I don't know, man. I think that's really, really cool. And then on the Bruce Trail, that's been around, I think, since 1962. And I only had one FKT to break. Like, no one's ever tried to do it unsupported. Like, so I don't know, man. It's a cool sport, and I think people like it's scary because of how hard it is, and like being alone for 2 weeks. But I don't know, man. This sport has impressed me like every year. Like, what Killian just accomplished with like the three 200s there and
Mhm.
break the record. Like, it's just people are just pushing the boundaries, man. Like, what people are running 100-mile racing, like it's incredible. And that's why like I was like I'm nowhere near these athletes. Like, so like, what I'm doing, it's like I'm a very average person. I'm a very average athlete, and like that's why I love sharing my journey, because like if I could do it, you can too. It's a really yeah, man. It's fun. I have
Yeah.
a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And again, I'm right there with you. Like, it's just crazy to be a part of and to witness. And you're doing something completely different, but in an amazing way. Because I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't imagine carrying a pack that weighs 50 pounds for 2 weeks. And I work out, and I'm not like anything crazy, but god damn, that's got to be heavy.
Well, but don't forget though, it's like it starts off 53 pounds, but
True.
then it loses weight as you're going. So, but it's just if you could endure the first 4 days. I remember my coach told me that when I got on the Bruce Trails. Like the first 4 days, you're gonna feel like the backpack's very manageable, and
Oh.
he was right. Like it's still heavy. It'll be like 40 pounds or whatever, but man, it's a hell of a lot different than 50 some pounds.
Oh
And
yeah.
when you get up in the 50s there, the first 4 days are you put on that backpack in the morning, it's like you're like, oh my God, your back's cracking. You're trying to readjust your entire body. Like it's definitely tough. But after 4 days, then you get your trail legs on you. Then you like your body starts adapting. I find the first 7 days are like the toughest. Then after that, you're like totally locked in, and you could just keep moving. It's crazy.
Yeah, and would you say like it just becomes like a numbing thing, or you're just so used to it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a bit of both, I'd say,
Okay.
because like I remember like for me what kills me the most, and this is what I'm gonna do differently on this trip, it's the bottom of the feet, you know what I mean? If you're stepping
Mhm.
on rocks and everything, I wear the Norda 002, so they're actually lower to the ground, so I don't have like high cushion shoes. So like what I'm doing this year is I'm bringing another pair of insoles, and I'm just gonna switch them out. And actually, one thing I'm trying right now, which I don't know, I have no experience doing this, but I'm trying a leather pair of insoles. So like
Oh,
the leathers on top. Like I just went to the leather shop, and he glued this leather piece on top of the foam.
okay.
So again, I don't know. He says like if it gets wet, like you could just like you could easily dry it out, and like I do have to stop anyways to dry my feet out. So it's like if my feet get wet, it's like I gotta stop twice a day anyways, air my feet. So I'll just air out the insoles. Anyways, I'm gonna try it out, and I'll let you guys know
Yeah.
if in my Instagram. But I'm like, it's like already I'm like feeling how much more like it's just way softer on the feet. So, anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this right
Yeah, no,
now,
no. I love
but
it. And you have
yeah.
to experiment. And you're doing something that not a lot of people have done in order for you to get the experience from. So
Yeah.
we're all just learning through you, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's, man, I'm learning from everyone else too. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many great people to follow, so many great athletes out there. So, yeah, it's fun, man. This sport is evolving like crazy right now. It's insane.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, once you accomplish the new FKT unsupported, we'll have to have you back on the podcast so you can tell us all the things that you've
For
learned, all the things
sure.
to do, not to do. But I genuinely appreciate you taking the time to talk. It's been a great conversation. Again, I'll have all of your links in the show notes. That way
Yeah.
people can reach out and connect and watch your amazing content that you make. I've been creeping, obviously, and I'm like, damn, this shit's good. So I appreciate
Yeah.
you for taking the time.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate you.